Hello and welcome to La Liga Talks. Just myself and Carla here in the studio today with Ollie off on a work trip. He'll tell you more about that one later. But we saw an amazing Matchday 6 in La Liga with goals flying in big wins for Real Madrid and Barcelona particularly. And it's those Madrid sides we want to focus on today with the Madrid Derby, El Derby Madrileño upcoming. So it's only right that Carla, a big Atleti fan herself, invited the legendary Diego Forlán to the studio for an exclusive interview. Stay tuned because this episode is going to be an epic.
Okay guys, so we're here with Diego Forlán, an Atleti legend, and obviously this week we have the Madrid Derby coming up. So we want to ask you a couple of questions. The first one is, Atleti have had a really good summer with the summer transfers, one of them being Julián Álvarez. A lot of people compared him a lot to Kun Agüero. First of all, we'd like to know kind of your memories of playing with Agüero, and also if you see those similarities, or if you think he's a different type of player and what he can achieve at Atlético de Madrid.
It was a great moment when we played together alongside Kun. I don't see any similarity now. No, I think it's a different kind of players. I can say maybe Kun, he's more a goal scorer. I think Julián scores a lot of goals as well, but maybe he runs more. Kun, was like a main target in the penalty box. Of course, he used to run a lot, but different type of players, great players, both of them. They score goals, but I think in this case, Kun scored a little bit more. Of course, Julián is still young. He can come up with many goals in the future.
Great. And then we've seen other signings as well, Conor Gallagher, Lenormand. How do you think that's kind of changed the energy at Atleti, and what do you expect from them this season?
I think it changes the coming and going players is good for the squad. You need to do that, and I think every manager they try to do. Simeone as well. You want to keep up, the challenge. Everybody fighting for the place and keeping up with the level they've been doing for so many years alongside together. So I think they will be great players. Because they are coming in a team that everybody knows the role they've been playing, most of the players together for many seasons. So it's easy, when you bring some key players to the squad, they will adapt much better, much quicker.
So that kind of brings us to this week's hot topic, which is the derby. You've played a couple of them yourself. What's your fondest memory from playing those derbies?
Well, it was different back in my days, because it was difficult for us to win a game. Always we were close to. We drew many games. We lost a couple as well. But now I think that changed a lot since a couple of years back. And you can see, also Atlético Madrid changed as a club. It's a big club. They won La Liga a couple of times, the Copa del Rey, UEFA, Europa League as well. So I think it's going to be interesting derby. It doesn't matter where you play. Sometimes playing away, play at home, but always, it's always going to be exciting.
I'm assuming now you're watching it as a fan and you're supporting Atlético de Madrid. What is that rivalry like in the capital for the fans?
I think it's beautiful, and it's beautiful that now, you can see that both of them, they can win, they can lose, so this makes it more interesting. So I hope it's going to be an interesting game, and in the end we can win.
So a prediction for the game, a scoreline, goal scorers?
I don't know. It's difficult to predict. I think Griezmann is a very key player for the club. You have to be careful as well with Mbappé. All the players. Valverde. They have really good players in Madrid. We have to see Álvarez. He scored a goal last night. from both sides you have great players, so hopefully it's going to be a very strategic game.
Would you risk saying a scoreline?
No, as a fan, of course, I prefer Atlético Madrid to win, but I know it's always tough and difficult. You know.
I mean, last season they didn't lose any of the derby, so let's say as long as they don't lose.
Yeah, of course, you know, it's going to be, but everybody wants to win.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Pleasure.
My pleasure.
So Carla, how was it interviewing Diego Forlán? That must have been like realising a childhood dream.
Yeah, obviously a massive Atleti legend. My mum is a huge fan of Forlán, so shout out to my mum. I'm sure she's watching this. She's an avid fan of LALIGA Talks. But yeah, as you say, Luke, it was incredible. You got to meet him as well. Really, really nice, humble guy.
Yeah.
As we saw, he hopes Atleti win the game. He wasn't too sure about the result. He didn't really want to risk it and go either way. But yeah, thanks to Forlán for being on here. We hope you guys enjoyed that. And obviously we'll keep bringing you more interviews like this.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of Atleti's hopes, we saw them play at the weekend, right? A difficult game.
It was a difficult one.
I mean, what did you make of the performance and the result there?
I think Simeone is trying to manage the team as well as he can, and he kind of played, let's say, the B team players.
Yeah.
In this game, no Jimenez, no Griezmann, and we saw how Rayo went ahead at just before half time. Atleti then came back to equalise with a Conor Gallagher goal, which Gallagher has been incredible.
Back to back.
But Atleti weren't able to manage the win. Vallecas is always a difficult stadium to go to as well. So, I mean, Atleti is 6 points behind Barcelona right now, isn't great. So they really need to win this derby, and we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it was a game they probably would have hoped for more than just a point in, right?
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, you can't, if you want to be a title contender, you have to try and get those 3 points, especially at stadiums like Rayo Vallecano. So
yeah, and I know you're a big fan of Conor Gallagher. Now, I saw a stat that he's won the most duels in that Atleti team, or in La Liga as a whole this season.
Yeah, and I mean, he didn't even play the first few games, I think.
Exactly.
He signed at the end of the transfer window, so he missed those first few games. Incredible player. Obviously, we've talked about him on the last episode as well. But I mean, he's a perfect player for Simeone. Simeone is probably his dream signing. So.
And he's going to be important, right, in this derby coming up. You can see
against
already.
Jude Bellingham. So Englishmen in the middle. We'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah. Speaking of that English battle, we saw Bellingham finally back in action in La Liga. Now he provided an assist. He was shortly subbed off after. Brilliant game from him again, and we saw Vinicius and Rodrigo, that Brazilian connection.
We did.
But Real Madrid, it's been strange, right? They've struggled through games. Like you're starting to wonder, are they going to do it? Is this going to be another sort of shock result? As we saw
I mean,
earlier?
They were 1-0 down to Espanyol. Like I had hope, obviously, guys. You know, I support Atleti, so I did have a little bit of hope that Espanyol could see it through. I wasn't watching the game. I was out for dinner, but I did start seeing goal, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, they're getting the games, like they're getting the 3 points where they need them, even if they're not playing the best football, as Oli mentioned the other day.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is that they see the games through right now, and it will all flow, and it all come together.
Absolutely.
In the following games.
Yeah, and saw one of those Madrid attackers come out and said a quote. It was something like, Ancelotti's angry of us because we're not scoring goals quickly enough in the first half, and it has become a theme.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Diego Simeone will have one eye on if you can keep them quiet just for that little bit longer. Then there's Real Madrid can certainly be got at, right? Because they're not starting games well. Until 20 minutes to go, you could think anything's possible for this Madrid team almost. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really interesting game.
I mean, they played the Metropolitano last season. We saw Atleti win 3-1 at the Metropolitano, and Atleti did come out very quickly and score the goals very quickly. So when Madrid kind of found their rhythm, it was a bit too late. They did get one back, but hopefully Atleti can do the same. Or Simeone will be looking to do the same at least this season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, looking forward then to this Sunday's derby, who do you see as like the most important player? So let's start with Atleti. Who do you think could really make the difference there?
So I think obviously we mentioned Gallagher. Sorloth has actually been surprisingly good, although he's not really getting the goals. He's had a couple of assists already this season. He's kind of really fighting for the balls up front, helping the team create chances. But I do have to say Griezmann, obviously. I did say at the beginning of the season that I thought he'd started off slowly, but I think he's just one of those players you always have to kind of take into consideration. Yeah. What about you? What do you think for Real Madrid?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely say, well, just starting on Atleti, I'd definitely say Griezmann. He's a big game player, isn't he? But like you said, from Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham, he's a player who proved last season in the big games he's capable of turning up, although he didn't score on this fixture, I believe. Obviously, Rodrigo, he's never...
I think one of the only teams he hasn't scored against is actually Atleti, so
exactly.
I'm sure, and I think he's played like 4 or 5 games against them already, so
he'll want, he'll want to be getting rid of that, but at the same time, Atleti's defensive prowess, they've definitely got the capabilities to stop him. One thing I would worry about slightly more is this combination play between Rodrigo and Vinicius. They're really having a big impact on games. You saw Vinicius, I think 2 goals and assist in that last game. Just completely changed the game on its head, really. So he's somebody definitely like worth watching out for. And Mbappe, of course, who we're still waiting to have that real massive impact on any singular game. Obviously he scored a few penalties, but he's going to want to stamp his mark in this game too, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think both teams also have a lot of pressure because if they draw, then Barcelona really do go ahead. And is there coming back from that? I mean, the league is very long. We just saw our well wishes to Ter Stegen also, who just got a really bad injury and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So, I mean, Olmo's also injured. We'll see if those injuries do affect Barcelona. Also, both teams will be under a bit of pressure from Barcelona. As we see, they're not losing points in La Liga. They just scored 5 goals against Villarreal, who Villarreal had their chances. They had a couple of goals offside. But obviously Barcelona got the job done. They won by way more than we'd predicted as well. But yeah, Real Madrid and Atleti will both need the win, and obviously they're not both going to be able to get it. So we'll see what the table looks like at the end of next week.
Absolutely, like you said quite rightly, the pressure's on, and we'd be remiss not to speak about Barcelona a little bit now, right? Like 5-1, and the goals are just flying for this team.
All these balls could be all the goals Barcelona is scoring.
Rafinha's almost. I mean, another incredible result for them. Rafinha and Lewandowski, both for the double. They've got loads of goals so far this season, it feels like. But 2 players who are really standing out for me, other than those goal scorers, is obviously Lamine Yamal. Yeah,
Lamine has been incredible. Like, I mean, even if he's not getting the goals, he got 1 assist yesterday, but even then, he had an incredible shot, like his trademark shot, and hit the post. He was creating so much. The way he just controls the ball when it gets to his feet is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And that assist, by the way, oh my God, the outside of the foot, that was perfect. And
such a good play.
And the finish was just as good, to be honest.
We keep saying this, guys, but he's only 17 years old. Like, it's absolutely incredible what he's doing.
It's absolutely.
Who's the other player you were thinking of?
So I was thinking also Pedri. I mean, he just seems to be controlling the game for the moment. He's back to some of his best form that I've seen him in.
Yeah, I think Hansi Flick said the same. He's and he's really, really doing well and managing his minutes as well. So I think, Pedri's another one to look out for. So guys, continuing on Barcelona, our next gen player, this is kind of a theme that we've seen throughout the season, is a Barcelona player, Pablo Torre. He got his first start of the season, goal and assist. He assisted really nicely for Lewandowski, a really nice kind of through ball, and then he scored a goal as well in just 66 minutes that he played. That's kind of impressive, right, for a player who wasn't getting minutes last season on loan at Girona.
A brilliant contribution from the youngster there. I mean, this is a team full of youngsters, and they're going to keep appearing on this segment, I'm sure. But that goal, especially, not just from Torre himself, but that as a team goal, that was exceptional.
It was incredible. What is it, like the most passes leading up to a goal this season or something like that?
Exactly, that combination play straight out the academy for Barcelona.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was superb, right?
Yeah, and Hansi's been doing really well with the youngsters. I mean, Casado came on for him afterwards in the second half. We saw Gerard Martin, Sergi Dominguez also play. So, I mean, Barcelona are going to fill up with players in this under-23 next-gen segment, guys.
So guys, welcome to the prediction segment on LALIGA Talks.
And as you guys will be able to see here, we did win, but we didn't do too well. We won 2-1, but we need to sharpen up on our predictions. I mean, we can't see the future, guys, but we should start predicting a little bit better. Anyway, this week?
So, I mean, this week, so we have Matchday 7 in midweek, right? So we're going to skip those guys, considering this episode will come out after many of those.
Yeah, there'll be some of those games already played, so keep an eye on those as well in the midweek.
Exactly. So Matchday 8, guys, we're going to be looking at. Now, the first game is one Ollie begged us to do, right?
Yeah.
He's a big Valencia fan. Now, we're going to be doing Real Sociedad at home. He's backing a win, right? Should we go with him?
Yeah,
Should we let him have
let's go with him. I mean, Valencia have come off a 2-0 win just now, and Real Sociedad have been struggling this season.
Right?
So I think we go 1-0 for Valencia.
Yeah, 1-0 for the away side, 1-0 for Valencia.
So the next game that we've got coming up is Athletic Club against Sevilla. Sevilla have been struggling also.
Yeah, it's another team that's been struggling.
And also San Mamés is a very difficult stadium to go to. Athletic Club just won.
Off the back of a win.
Yeah. I do back Athletic Club to win again.
Yeah, I fancy them at home.
But not a massive win. Maybe a 2-1, 2-0.
Yeah, another assist for Iñaki. He's been firing, right?
Yeah, he's
4
been really
assists,
good.
3 games.
Yeah, he's been really good up front.
Perfect. Well, let's go. What should we think?
2-0.
2-0?
Yeah.
2-0?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Sevilla fans. Last but not least, obviously the game that everyone is waiting
Derby.
for this weekend. Luke and Ollie will be at the game. I'll be there as a fan. They'll be there doing some really cool stuff, which you guys will see in the future. I'm not going to give a prediction for this one. I'm going to let you do it.
I'm slightly scared of saying anything anti-Atleti here, but I mean, it really is a big game, this one. It can't be understated, right? I think whoever wins this one is going to get such confidence for the season. We've spoken about the big players who might make the difference. Oh, it's difficult, you know. I'm seeing a draw. I'm seeing a really hard contested game. I mean, I think Gallagher's going to have a real impact in that midfield as well.
I think it'll be really good as well, as you were saying, to see Gallagher against Bellingham if they do both start.
Yeah,
it'll be
that's
really,
going to be
really
a
nice
top
to see as well. But yeah.
Shall we sit on the fence?
If there is a draw, the only winner here is going to be Barcelona.
Exactly, they'll be loving that result.
Honestly, yeah, a draw seems, seeing the kind of form both teams are in, I think a draw.
You didn't want to give a prediction, but do you think it will be goals in this game at least?
I think there'll be goals, yeah.
What do you think? A score draw then?
I think 1-1, yeah, not much more.
1-1. Okay, let's go 1-1 for the Madrid derby. So it was a short and sharp episode today, and as you can see, we're going to be going in lots of different locations all over the season, filming our episodes. We love making them, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We want to show you all of La Liga HQ here in Madrid. We'll also be going to different locations, as Luke said. There'll be derby videos coming.
Can't wait.
We'll have a bit of everything. And as always, like, subscribe, comment, listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe on YouTube. And until next time.
Absolutely, and most importantly,
enjoy the Madrid derby.
Enjoy the Madrid derby. Thanks, guys.